Okay, so the title of my experiment is Intercrop-Mediated Below-Ground Interactions Effects on Biomass, Herbivore Resistance, and AMF Colonization. So as an introduction, previous research shows that below-ground facilitation growth of maize crops is influenced by the legume Desmodium. And the specific below-ground interaction we're discussing here today is our buskler mycorrhizae fungi, phenomenal fungi that's known for forming symbiotic relationships with vascular plant species, and is known to provide resilience and resistance to drought stress and salinity and pathogens. And so my question today is, what factors increase yield and herbivore resistance in diversified cropping systems? My hypothesis is that intercropping with Desmodium promotes beneficial maize AMF interactions. And I predicted that Desmodium intercropping would increase AMF colonization in maize, therefore increasing plant resistance through increasing defense secondary metabolites just being organic compounds. Okay, so for my methodology, I basically had 3 different treatments. My focal plant was maize, and so I had treatments with Desmodium and maize. I had controlled treatment with just maize, and then I had a controlled treatment with maize, right? And then I had, in my greenhouse experiment, AMF colonized pots and non-AMF colonized pots. And so we then went through with an induction treatment to kind of mimic the insects, herbivores. We didn't actually have them eat the crops, but instead we kind of got a pizza cutter and we cut the leaves, and then we kind of put the saliva on the leaves to pretend as if they're eating it. We had a herbivore bioassay where we weighed the Spodoptera insect before the Petri dish, put them in the Petri dish with a piece of the leaf, and then weighed them the next day. And then in the future, we will be collecting the leaf biomass, root biomass, secondary metabolites, and we will be quantifying AMF root colonization. So my results are very interesting because on one hand, they align with my hypothesis because the Desmodium does have a positive effect on plant resistance. But on another hand, my results are interesting because they're kind of suggesting that AMF is not as positively influencing on the plants as expected. Rather, you'll find that the Desmodium seems to be kind of mitigating the negative effects of AMF on the plant resistance. So you'll find that here with the larvae gang, one perfect example of my results being very interesting is that you'll find something that was samples that were induced, but they had AMF colonization have a high amount of larvae weight gain, which means that the resistance of the plant was rather low, which is kind of not what I was expecting. Now, going over here to plant biomass, the results still very interesting. Let's see here. Again, we'll find that Desmodium is mitigating the negative effects of the AMF. And so some of my predictions of AMF and defense compound are more so in alignment with what I was thinking before my results. And so I'm thinking that percent colonization will be the highest with Desmodium, and so will the secondary metabolites. Are we good?
Yeah,
perfect.
Thank
you.
Thank you so much for sharing your research with us. This is super interesting. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Thank you.